Hey everyone, good morning. Happy Friday. I always hear this on webinars. Every webinar you hear is like, oh my God, I'm super excited for this. This is going to be the best thing ever. Well, this is going to be for you, for your business, the best thing ever, because what I'm going to show you is how to write a sales script. And just to give you an idea how powerful this is, let me show you a screenshot that I took over the last 90 days for these national radio campaigns I wrote and call center scripts I've written, the same one you're going to get today. So what you're looking at right here is, this is from today back to March 25th. And so let me just break this down for you numerically. So what you're looking at here is, this is how many calls have been generated from these radio ads. Here's how many calls have actually been answered. And this handled conversion is just all the sales that have come from these calls. Now that includes customer service, tracking, packages, and that sort of thing. But actual sales calls, actual calls where people called up and said, hey, I'm interested, I'd like to learn more about this product. Tell me about it. This has been the conversion rate, 78.02%. Now, to give you an idea how radically different this is from having people shop primarily 100% online, the best conversion rate I ever had in a week for cold traffic for these types of campaigns was the third week of April, where we got 30%. 30%, which is great, which is amazing, except that week we had 85% conversions with these sales scripts. Okay, and there's a lot of elements of these sales scripts you can use online, especially when we get to the upsell section, which most people struggle with. What you're looking at here is the average order value. It's $126.84. During that time, for about 7 to 8 weeks of this 90 days, we were running a campaign where people were ordering a $10 item, and that's what the average order value was. And if you look here, that's how many raw sales we got, and out of that, that's how many upsells we got. Now, in March, they were running a campaign that was a $50 item, and we were averaging about 2.34 items per customer. So they were ordering almost another 2 items besides what they originally called for. So without further delay, I'm going to start walking you through how to write a script like this, and you can pretty much just copy and paste what I'm going to show you today. So the first thing that you want to do with any kind of marketing, I don't care if it's online, it's using a sales script, it's brick and mortar, is you have to have some congruency between the ad that you're running and the place that these people land. Okay, so the first thing that I always do is basically do this, is hello, thank you for calling, company name, whoever, or you could just use your name, it doesn't matter, whatever you feel most comfortable with. I'm, name, whoever you are you calling about the offer on whatever it is, product, service, we ran in source. Now what this does right here, which is really interesting, is this. First of all, it confirms to the caller, the customer, that they've called the right place. Okay, like, yes, I've got the right people, this is what I'm interested in. They know that they're dealing with a human being, which is always important. And what it does, it's a little sneaky trick. What it does is it actually gets them started off on a positive note, a yes. They're already saying yes. So what happens here is you've got their mind thinking, yes, I've called for the right thing, and yes, this is what I'm calling about. You get these conversion rates just from this, but this isn't where it ends, because what I'm going to show you on the back end here in a minute is how to maximize the profits from this. Whether you sell, fitness training, online products, info products, consulting, it's not going to make a difference. So what you do from there is you just acknowledge what they said. Let me just recap what's included. And then what you do here is you just do bullets with features and benefits. Now, you can give them as many features and benefits as you want. What I would say as a general rule of thumb is the more complex or expensive in terms of price your product is, the more you should give them. Okay, and you don't have to do the, the John Carlton, 1-2. You're talking to a person here. You don't have to, you can just give it to them straight up. You don't have to get cute with them. Now, what you do, you also want to do is this, is when you get to this, so you do a few bullets and you say, and if we complete your order now, I can get this to you for price. Now, what I would do here with your ad campaign is there was a little trick that we ran for a company that sold battery heated outerwear like jackets and vests and gloves, is we actually inflated the price a little bit and then discounted it back. Now you can do whatever is most comfortable for you, but just make sure that whatever they're ordering, they feel like they're getting a great deal. Okay, you don't necessarily have to discount, but just whether you add some things or you give them free shipping if it's a physical product. And if you guys are selling fitness training, when you guys watch this replay, it would be really, really wise to at least burn some DVDs, because people tend to use physical products more than they use online products, statistically speaking. Okay, so here's where you just close it. This is all you need to do. Let me go ahead and add this to your order. Bam. Now, what might happen here, and it's going to happen at some point, is the person is going to say, wait, I'm not sure. They're going to object. They're going to rebut. And this is probably the most important thing you do, whether you write a sales letter, email, talk to people on the phone, especially with this, is you have to be prepared for this. So this is what I do. What I do is I create a rebuttal section, and I'll scroll down here a little bit so you guys can see what I'm going to do here. Now, what you want to have, and I'm going to explain how this works later because I want you guys to outsource this stuff. I don't want you doing this on your own, and it can be done very cheaply, which I'll explain later, is when you do these rebuttals, you're going to get a set that's usually pretty standard. It's like the 80-20 rule of this sort of thing. So the first one's usually, well, I'll just put this in quotes, well, I'm just shopping around. Okay, here's how you handle this. When someone's shopping around, there's something there that's just missing for them, and they don't know if they necessarily know, like you, and trust you enough to buy. What you always want to do when you handle a rejection, whether they just are shopping around or if they insult your mother, it doesn't matter, is say this: I hear what you're saying, and I just hear what you're saying. Yeah, this is where you want to go with this. I'm just shopping around. I hear what you're saying. So you want them to make them feel like you do understand what they're saying. However, yet if you have a guarantee, which you should have for most products, I'm going to give you the best possible deal online or anywhere else, plus your purchase today is backed up by your guarantee. So what you're doing is basically not giving them a reason to go anywhere else, and you just say that. So I understand you want to get the best possible product or service at the best price, but I can save you time and money today. Boom. That's it. And what that does is it takes away their out, if you will. There's really nowhere for them to go. Okay. Another one that comes up when I've listened to probably about 36 to 48 hours of calls, so just thousands of calls, is, well, I'm not sure, it's out of my budget. And depending if you do consulting services or whatever, this is going to come up a lot. Or even if you do physical products, you know, it's out of my budget, or they might say it's too expensive, you know, whatever. Again, I hear what you're saying, but let me ask you this question. And this is something I would strongly advise that you go look at. I've used this, variations of this. Brian Stuman has a great blog post about this, hardcorecloser.com, so that's a good place to go. But let me ask you this question. What is it worth to you to solve your problem? Cheap solutions don't give you great results. And I think we can agree you want to get the best result possible. Now, I see a lot of people talk about price should never be an issue. Well, let me just tell you something. It is. Okay? It always is. It's the same reason why people go buy a car and they haggle over price. They go buy a house, they haggle over price. You know, they come in for, you know, like the 2-for-1, buy one, get one free offers. It's, listen, you know, I've sold all kinds of different things, high ticket things, low ticket things, you know, financial instruments. It's always, price is always an issue. Unless someone's just so desperate to buy, then it won't be an issue. Those are the people you hear these gurus talk about as the people that are desperate to buy. But 80% of the customers you get aren't going to be necessarily, they're aware they have a problem, but they may not be hot, you know, in a hot lather to get fixed right away. Okay, so those are a couple big ones. You know, this is a great one. I have to talk to my partner or wife, you know, or spouse. We'll just put spouse, because it could be a woman, you know, too, obviously. They have a lot of buying power now. And you could say, this is what you say. I hear what you're saying. But obviously, oops, since you made this call, I'm sure, oops, sorry with the spelling, I'm sure your partner or spouse trusts you to make a sound decision. Plus, I'm going to do this, which are benefits. All you're trying to do is just reaffirm that, listen, you're already calling, you're doing the research. Obviously, they trust you. You know, so you can get, what you do is you just give them the benefits, the guarantees that you want, and boom. And then you just follow up with this. Let's go ahead and get you started today. If you have a guarantee, which we can always talk about in a different session, make sure you reaffirm that. If you have payment plans, you want to make sure you reaffirm that too. And then get you started today. And I'll add this to your order. Or, you know, if you're doing, you know, like consulting, you can, I'll create an invoice. I'll add this to your invoice and get it sent over to you. You always, what I believe you should do, and I've seen this work much, much better than anything else, don't ask for the sale, imply that it's already made. Big time salespeople and instructors like Tom Hopkins and Brian Tracy often do this, okay? So what I'm going to do here is, this is basically probably the most important thing, is just answering rebuttals. A lot of times it's not necessarily someone you know, saying no, they just don't have enough, or they just need a little nudge. Now, one thing I'm going to go back and just, you know, do, if you feel like you might lose a sale and none of this is working, then just ask them, what is it going to take for us to do business today? Boom. That's it. And just get them to tell you, what is it that we're going to need to get this deal done? All right. I've actually found I haven't had to use that very often. It's typically like, if you've done all this other stuff right, you've got a good ad, you know, it makes sense, it's something they want. This is the smoothest way to do it. So what I want to show you now is something that I think people suck at, and I've even seen big time gurus and big shots just suck at this. They really actually do suck at this, and I think they make it more complicated. So what I do here on my scripts, and I've done this with consulting and other products, is I just do this. they take the sale, so we'll just assume that, and we'll just put upsell scripts. All right, and then what we do is this. Okay, awesome. Reaffirm their purchase. You're going to you're going to love what's inside your products. And you can always obviously adapt this to your situation. Service. So let me start putting this order together, or invoice if that's what you're going to do, together. Now what I put is something I should mention to you is our customers find when they buy this product, they're so excited they want to actually get their whatever the result is that you're basically selling even faster. What I'd suggest we do is to also put in your order our product name, so you can do result faster, better, easier, more often, whatever it is. Now, when I showed you those upsell results, the reason why this works is what I did is when I started listening to these calls, before I even wrote a radio script or an inbound call center script, what I did is this. I basically looked at what people were doing, and the thing that they wanted is they would say something to the effect of, well, I talked to my friend Bob, and Bob said, yeah, it was great to get this one, it was for emergency food, 1 week supply, but he actually realized he probably needed more. He had another person in the house, or he just wanted to feel more comfortable having more. So what we're doing here with this upsell script is we are using social proof to justify selling them something else. Okay, now obviously it needs to make sense for them, but let me give you a few examples of where I've done this. I have a client that helps acupuncturists with their marketing. Okay, so we sold this product where it was a 10-point guide on how to host what they call happy hours. So people show up, it shows them how to do like demonstrations with acupuncture, the whole bit. The upsell in this particular case was a script that they could use to actually get not only multiple visits, but then they could get also referrals, right? So the script went something like this. It went, hey, you got on video. He's like, hey, I'm really excited for you. You've made a great decision. I can't wait till you start diving into this. You're going to find that you're going to get more new patients. Now, something that I want to mention to you is this, is that many of our practitioners find that they get so excited about this and they get such good results, they want to do more, bigger and better things in terms of getting more patients, keeping their patients, and then getting referrals. So what they decide to do is they decide to get this report of findings mastery program, and what it's going to show you, give them the features and benefits, and we gave them the features and benefits, it's going to help you get, not only help you get even more patients, but it's going to get you more visits and treatments, and it's going to get you more referrals. Now, I didn't get to see the exact numbers, so this is just a disclaimer, but what I will tell you is that campaign ultimately generated in a week $60,000. And we were only running about $20 a day in Facebook ads. Okay? So what I want to stress to you, if you take nothing away from this group, if you take nothing away from this training, is that whatever you do, think about handling objections and think about the upsell. Because I'm going to tell you, most programs I have seen totally suck at doing this. And you're leaving loads of cash on the table. Okay? So to close this out, and I'm going to even run this if you have multiple upsells. So we'll say, let me go ahead and add this to your order. Now, one rebuttal that I have found with this is pretty much like, well, I just want to try this out today. I just want to try this one thing out today. Like, let me try this one thing today. Okay? Now, I am the type of shopper that's like this. I just, let me dip my toe in it and see what it does, okay? The times I've bought upsells is when I've seen, in the rare occasions this script used. It's not used exactly this way. I've refined it, but what you want to do is this. You say, again, I totally hear what you're saying. However, if you get this, what you want to stress the value, if you get this today, not only is it going to help you do, results, and then adjective faster, better, easier, etc. But I can also give you, like X percentage off or dollar off. Give them a deal. Because basically, especially if you're selling information products, this is just pure honey, man. This is just pure profit. You're not going to suffer financially. You're gonna, you're turning one customer essentially into two customers, and it's much easier to do that once you've got them to buy something. You're much more likely to sell to them again. And then again, let me go ahead and add this to your order. And right there, that is it. That is the script that I would use, tweaking it to your situation, and that is how I get these numbers. That is how I do it. So let me just do this. Got Radomir here on the line. Let me just go ahead and unmute you if you want to. Hey, Radomir, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Radomir. How's it going, buddy?
It's going well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks. So I just wanted to, let me ask you, what do you sell particularly for your business?
I'm sorry?
What do you sell for your business?
Web development.
Okay, so you do web development.
So I develop websites.
Yeah, so where do most of your sales come from? Like is it advertising, referrals?
So mostly referrals.
Mostly referrals. Okay, perfect. So you tend to talk to the people like on Skype calls or phone calls?
Yeah, I do calls, but mainly email.
Oh, okay. So basically,
to be honest, yeah.
So what I can tell you, like, when you use this, you can adapt this pretty easily to what you do, because I do it for my own copywriting consulting, is I use this exact script. I basically just say, hey, in your case with the referral, this is a good situation, is you might say, hey, are you, this is Radomir, hey, are you calling because of so-and-so, whoever the referral is? Because I've actually found people get a little disoriented sometimes if you don't do that. They go, do I have the right guy, or is this the right place? When you do your web hosting, do you upsell anything to these folks?
No.
Okay. One of these times, this is something that I would strongly suggest, because you can find, I'll give you an example. I have a friend of mine who's a real estate agent, right? And I asked him a question. He was on my hockey team. I go, what else do you upsell? Do you sell besides, homes? He goes, what do you mean? I don't sell anything. I said, well, could you get these guys lawn care, pool care if they have pool, like housekeeping? And he's like, well, how would I do that? And then I said, well, here's how you do it. You just partner with somebody. And then you just, you get a finder's fee. So with your web hosting, if they need, I'm not, and there's lots of great copywriters in our group. So, but you could say something like, hey, do you need, copywriting? Do you need, to set up Facebook ads, whatever it is? If you don't do it or you don't want to do it, this upsell part of this here would help you, because you could just, if you refer it to somebody else, you can get a, a finder's fee, and it's some easy money for you to make. The other thing is that, you do, if you don't get, say, a referral, but you get someone who finds your website or whatever, these rebuttals will work really well for you. Because those are pretty common. And usually if you get by those, people are like, okay, yeah, I guess I better should just do it, while I'm here. Do you have any questions for me about any of this stuff?
Not really.
No? Okay, it's pretty straightforward. No. Well, Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to wrap
Yeah.
this up so you can get about your Friday, because there's all kinds of things going on in Europe, from what I've read. Lots of crazy stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and post a recording of this. I'm going to post a this document so you can copy paste whatever you need to do with it. But I really appreciate you joining the group,
Great.
Radomir, and you get a free coaching
Thanks.
call. So at some point let's schedule that so we can sit down and chat about your business.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. Yeah.
All right, man. I'll let you go,
Okay,
and I
thanks.
really appreciate you guys checking this out.
Okay, man. Bye.
All right. Cheers.